Hello, I am Sandy Shook. This is Coffee with Sandy. The purpose behind Coffee with Sandy has always been getting out on social media, but also to bring the positive back into social media. I have the honor of having one of my best friends with me this morning, Sheri.
I'm Sheri. I'm not giving my last name. Stalkers.
Yes.
I'm sorry. I'm kidding. And Sandy and I met at MCI. We've just figured out it was probably about 30 years ago. We were figuring out our kids' age.
Yeah.
And it was about 30 years ago we worked there.
One of the things that I wanted to do, and thank you very much for coming in this morning to talk with us, or talk with me, talk between us, is I just wanted to talk about what your life has been like, so that folks just ignore the facial expressions.
You said this is like when we have breakfast.
Yes. Well, and to share, because a lot of people look at their lives as something that hasn't, you have a plan and then you kind of get depressed and don't move forward. And we all have gone through so many different changes in our lives that I'd really like to bring that hope to people that, that it's not just about what your dreams are. Your dreams could be one way and they can shift. And so that's kind of what this is all about. You and I have known each other for quite a long time. We just kind of figured that out since the MCI days. So I'm assuming that that's not where you wanted to bring your life.
What, to MCI?
Yeah.
Actually, MCI was one of the best things that ever happened.
Yeah.
It was a great place.
You were good at that job.
Well, so were you, even though you say you weren't. You were.
I was just not good at being a secretary.
We were.
And then when I went into budget,
secretaries though.
I know.
I mean, we really were. We were more like, we each had a floor with like a gazillion people on. I mean, with a lot of people. We were in charge. You were like the office manager for the floor, and you had to manage that floor.
Wow.
At least I did. I don't know what you had to do, but I pretty much.
Yeah, that's a positive way of looking at it.
I mean, we supported like directors and stuff, but the directors mostly did a lot of their own stuff. I mean, it isn't like dictation. I wouldn't even know what that was.
Right.
I mean, we answered phones, did their schedules and did travel arrangements, but for the most part, they gave us free reign to run that department as an office manager more than as an assistant. I think all the admins, or a lot of the admins at MCI, were like that. Even when I left that department and went to work for Jim, Jim Luber, who was the best boss I ever had, was the same way. Just ran that group of people, and they counted on you to do this. We had to get space for people. We had to get their connectivity. We had to get their computers. We basically told them where they were going to sit. We moved people around.
Yeah. And
we pretty much could boss people around, which was really cool, actually.
And people trusted you.
They did.
Yeah.
They trusted us. They did.
So when you were, if you could think back to when you were in second grade or 10-ish.
Oh my God, do you know how long ago that was?
I don't want to say that.
I know.
Do you know what you wanted to do?
At 10?
Yeah, what was some of your dreams at that age? Do you remember? Like, did you want to be a big dancer?
Growing up I don't think I ever thought about that. Like what was I going to do for a career? Because at 10, I didn't even know what a career was. It was more because, living in San Diego, my dad taught scuba diving on the weekends.
Oh,
so
wow,
we would go
I didn't know that.
We would go to La Jolla Coves, which if you've ever been to La Jolla, it's like the ritzy area. It's the rich area, well-to-do area of San Diego. And my sisters and I would say, oh, we're going to live in one of those houses. That was my big dream. Not realizing, of course, how much one of those big houses would actually cost you.
Yeah.
That never ended. You just have this idea of what living. If I could live in a house on the beach, I would be just the happiest person in the world. Not that my life is bad. I love it. But that would be my all. And that's what I wanted to do as a kid.
Yeah.
And go to the beach and go swimming. I don't know that I had. I mean, as I got a little older, I wanted to be a teacher.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, either third grade, don't ask my third grade, or a history teacher in high school.
Well, I hear that third grade is when kids start actually engaging and really starting to ask questions. But
I'm not sure why I picked third grade.
Yeah.
When I was a senior in high school, we had this program where you could do, it was, I don't even remember what they called it, but the first 2 periods I didn't have a class. It was for those who we had a daycare center on site at the school. So you worked there, or you volunteered, that was your class. It was kind of like a child development class. And so we did that for a little while, and then you were out after like 6-8 weeks to one of the elementary schools, and you were a teacher's aide.
Huh.
So you aided.
This was in high school.
Mm-hmm. Junior, senior year in high school. So you could. This is we had moved from San Diego up to Sacramento, so it was in Sacramento, and you could. You were the teacher, so like you would take kids aside and help them with their homework and stuff. And I thought the weirdest thing to be on the playground. That was a strange thing. And go to the teacher's lounge, especially was weird.
Oh yeah.
Especially as a high school student, you're in the teacher's lounge.
Mm-hmm.
This is weird, but it helped you decide if that's what you really wanted to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I really did want to do that, probably more third grade than high school.
Mm-hmm.
But I didn't.
So what changed?
I didn't think I was smart enough to go to college.
Aww.
And not only at that time, back in those days, you didn't have to go to college. College wasn't a thing to do. I mean, you either did. Most of the people I know didn't go to college because when you got a job, the company took you under their wing. They actually trained you, so you had on-the-job training. That's what I had all through that.
I wonder if it's changing to go back to that.
I don't think everybody's meant to go to college.
Right.
I mean, first of all, it's expensive. And second of all, it's a lot of dedication.
Mm-hmm. Well, and you went back to college.
I did.
Later in life.
Way later in life.
Was that after Russell graduated?
Russell
I can't remember.
was still in high school. I did it, I think, his junior, senior year in high school. And I told him I wanted to do it. Because he was old enough. I mean, he didn't need me to take care of him. Well, he did, but he didn't, you know what I mean? So I told him I was going to do that. So, I went back when he was in high school.
That's so cool. You're pretty close with your sisters. Have you always been, high school? We can toss high school aside because in high school, I think we were all competitive with each other.
We really were. I don't know that we were competitive.
Really? Okay.
Because I was the oldest and Terry was 2 years younger than Kathy. And Liz and Francine, I didn't go to high school. I didn't even go to high school with Kathy's 4 years younger, so she may have been, because I was a senior, Terry was a sophomore, so we never went to high school. If there was any, I don't even think between Terry and I, we were competitive.
Yeah.
I think she always thought she was more popular because I went to 4 different high schools.
Oh,
So my senior year, I went to my final high school in November.
Why your dad was in the military?
He was in the military when he retired when I was a sophomore.
Okay.
Then we moved back up to Sacramento because they were from there. My junior year, he got a job. And then in November, my senior year, he got transferred.
Wow.
I didn't want to go. My aunt and uncle said she could stay with us and she can still graduate. And my mom and dad said no. My mom later said, I don't know why we said no.
Yeah.
It was, my aunt and uncle who they trusted. And it was just being all together.
Yeah.
So I told her one year, I said, one time I said, you were more popular, would know than I am. She goes, I'm going to tell you something. I went to class as I was going through my junior, senior year, and I meet somebody who was your sister was Sheri. I'm thinking, who knew me?
Yeah.
I was only there for a short period of time. But I wasn't in any clique either.
Yeah.
I never was in a clique. I mean, had best friends, but we were always friends with everybody.
Right. That's how it was with me in my memory bank anyway.
Except for the cheerleaders.
You didn't want to be a cheerleader?
No. God, no.
You didn't want to do the splits?
I didn't want to be a cheerleader. No.
Oh,
and I shouldn't do that. Cheerleaders, I'm sure, are nice. They were not nice when I was in high school. Talk about mean girls. Oh my God. I don't know.
That's probably where that movie came from.
Probably. They were just mean. They were not nice.
Yeah.
So you just kind of went, whatever.
Yeah. Well, obviously, just because of the moves and moving halfway through your senior year, you just said.
Couple
you
months in my
adapted.
senior.
And I think
I
that's
had to. My
what's-
dad was in the military. We moved
Yeah.
around all the time.
Yeah.
So I adapted. I had no other choice.
Yeah.
You either had friends or you didn't.
Yep.
I'm not saying I had like thousands of friends.
Yeah.
You know, I had.
But you didn't let it get you down, or even if you did, you picked yourself up and just kind of kept moving forward. And that's really, I think, the
There was
message
always
that I'm
somebody that I
always.
kind of clicked with.
Yeah.
You know, that you
Yeah.
just were kind of weird like me in high school because I was a strange kid. I wasn't. I don't know that I was strange. Yeah, I was probably a little geeky, but not. Geek wasn't even a word back then.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you just had, there were these different cliques and you just, I mean, Cynthia I was thinking about her lately, which is funny, because our school is having a school-wide reunion.
Oh, okay.
I'm not going because
Well,
my sisters, we all
was it a
graduated.
small enough school that they're doing the whole school reunion then?
They're doing everybody who ever graduated.
Oh, wow.
I don't think they've had very.
Just to get a bunch of people
I
in a
guess.
room?
I think only like 100 people responded from what I've
Oh,
seen.
wow. Yeah.
You know, but because my sisters and I all graduated from the same high school. I mean, with my dad being in the military, we're surprised that he was in the military at the time. We all graduated from the same high school.
Mhm.
But so she was just one of those bubbly little outgoing people. We just kind of clicked,
Mhm.
you know. But we knew a bunch of people, but we were never in a specific group,
Mhm.
which I always liked.
So, what was it like growing up with 5 sisters?
Oh my
I had 6,
I see.
and 1 brother. So
You know what?
I
it's
don't know
like.
what it was like for you. I know what it was like for me.
Oh my Lord. You know, well, okay. Oh, I don't. Being that, if they were here, they would tell you.
Yes. Was it exciting?
I loved growing up with my sisters.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you reach that age where you're bickering all the time because you're sisters and you're close. You're wearing my clothes you didn't ask. You know,
Yes. Yeah.
you went and borrowed my stuff, you know, or stuff like that, and then we would tease each other. You know, we did some. Oh, if I say this and she ever hears about this, she's going to kill me. We would do some mean things. Terry and I would do some things to Kathy. Kathy was the third, and
Are you the oldest?
yeah, that we would do to her when we were in high school. I think it was high school. We were older. It wasn't like we were little. Yeah, it was fine. And
You were teenagers. That's what it was.
And you know, I mean, we would play together and stuff. But like they said, when we played Miss America, she'd always have to win.
Who? Terry?
Me.
Oh.
I said because I'm the
So
oldest.
did you have a crown?
No. No.
Do I need to get you one?
No. You guys, all my sisters did last year for my birthday.
Oh, really?
When we were in Vegas, when we had dinner and stuff, they got me a crown.
Oh, how fun.
I did have a crown.
Yeah. Well, so since you were in California, did you do like a lot of beach parties and things like that then too? You know, like the movies, you know, like always have the
beach
bar
going
and
to bingo? No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, no, I can't picture you doing that.
Annette Funicello. Oh,
Yeah.
she was adorable, though.
Yeah,
She was
yeah.
so cute. We did go to the beach a lot, you know,
Yeah.
because not necessarily in high school, but after, you know, you just went to the beach a lot, you know. Were there parties? Sometimes we would go to Santa Cruz, and we would have bonfires and stuff at night. And then we had senior sneak day, which everybody knew you were taking. We went to Santa Cruz.
We did archery together.
That was
That
so
was something
much
new,
fun.
you know. But of course, you did that in high school, right? What other sports did you do in high school? Was that just it?
Such not a sporty girl. I love to watch sports.
Yeah. What's your
Sports.
favorite?
What's my favorite sport? Seriously?
Hockey?
Hockey? I do like
Oh,
hockey.
you like how she said that? Hockey?
Hockey? I like hockey. Come on, Sandy, what's my favorite sport?
Oh my
Seriously. Every season? It's all I talk about?
Oh my goodness. Duh. Football.
Thank you.
Well, okay. It's San Francisco
Right.
49ers. I mean, is that really football? That's, you know, the 49ers. That's
Is it
what
really football? What does that mean, is it really football? I think when they're playing it, they believe it's football. When we're watching it, it looks like football.
Yes, and you do know all the statistics and all the players. It's not even 49ers. You know a lot about them.
Well,
How did you get into it?
I don't know. I would say my dad, but my parents were Oakland Raider fans before the Raiders were actually in any league, and they played on muddy fields back in like the the 50s, 60s, early 60s before there was any football world like it is now. And so when we lived in San Diego, we would go to football games when the Raiders are playing the Chargers. You know. And of course, my dad would always go, Charge, talking about the Raiders. And I told him, so you can't do that. And he goes, what do you mean I can't do that? That's a Charger thing. Later, I learned on later.
And back then, you actually corrected him.
I was wrong because anybody could actually do it for any team. But to me, it made sense like you're the Chargers, you do it for the Chargers.
I watched football with Dad, well, sports with Dad anyway, because that was really the only way, you know, with he had 7 girls, poor guy, right before his
But I would watch sports with my dad.
Yeah, and that was kind of always the way that we could connect with him, is that we could, you know, at least watch baseball or football. Baseball was never my favorite to watch on TV, but I love to go watch it.
I like watching in person.
Yeah.
I do. I like
and my dad was a AAA
was he?
pitcher. Yeah, he tried out for the New York Yankees.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it was fun to know that, and then to be supportive of his career. You know, he played, you know, AAA for I don't know how many years, but we had so much fun going to watch him, and, you know, my uncles and everybody that would play. Yeah.
I met John Madden one time.
You did?
When I worked at Rome, he had retired, and he came. I was in supervisor, so when they had all of management from supervisor up to executives go, he would come speak about teamwork and stuff. And he was probably the most interesting person. Yeah. And it was all football related, you know, how with teams and stuff. First of all, he was extremely entertaining. He kept your interest, and he was funny. Yeah. Too, you know, so he kept you interested.
So your favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving.
Really? How come?
I don't know. It just seems it's not so stressful.
Oh, seriously?
For my family? No, not at all. We go, okay, we'll get together. When we get together, we'll have like a turkey one time, and then not have, like on Christmas or whatever, have something totally different. You know, but I don't know. It's just, to me, it's not that stressful. You know, sometimes it depends on what my sisters have planned, whether we all get together, and then, you know, my niece and nephew, or my niece and her husband and family come, you know, drive up from Denver, or from where we're all together, or just my sisters and maybe Russell, you know. And I don't know, it just doesn't seem that stressful to me. I mean, well, that's I always make sure that I have, if it's just a few people, where we just don't get a turkey, I say roast a chicken, you know, make a smaller Thanksgiving dinner, or who says you have to have turkey or anything, whatever you want to have, you know, and you just watch football all day, and you know, and watch some kind of movie later on. Yeah.
So we have some fun memories that we've had together.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know if you want to talk about.
Holy moly.
Well, the first one I want to talk about is MCI.
That was so much fun.
And our little trip to Las Vegas.
Wait, and then we had Teresa too. Oh my gosh. What stays in Vegas, happens in Vegas stays. That was probably one of the, we still talk about that. That was one of the best.
Maybe that's why we walked down the street like the Beatles, because they were your favorite.
Well, first of all, we had been drinking, so that explains a ton.
I don't drink.
Okay. Your kid's going to hear this. I'm sure they're going to go,
Remember when we were out dancing with the guys, or following the guys, and somebody had her water glass that fell over?
Well, yeah.
We laugh up and down.
I don't know.
Yeah, but we did a lot of dancing.
It wasn't like we weren't groupies with them. We knew them. We were friends with them. Yeah. We went to see them at first, and we were around so much, they kept going, who are you people? Yeah. And then we became friends with them. Yeah. And they are great guys. I mean, we haven't seen them in a long time, but they were great guys. So much fun to be with.
Well, and one of the things too is that, back then too, we didn't really have a whole lot. And so we really, I think, found ways of having fun without spending a whole lot of money.
And we didn't have a lot of money. Because as single parents, and I mean men or women, it's financial, and maybe more in women, I don't know, because you always assume men make more money, but who knows? It's hard, financially, it's really hard. And you have to put their needs very first, which is fine. That's what we do. And I don't have a problem with that. But because it didn't cost us anything to go to Southside Johnny's or, wherever.
We always got there before they charged the cover charge, if they were charging.
Well, we knew the guys.
Yeah.
So we would walk in with them,
Yeah. Did you do that in high school at all or outside of high school before you moved out here? Just followed bands around?
No.
As I did.
No, I didn't know anybody who was in a band. So no.
Yeah, and seeing that's what we did in Minnesota. We had, I guess, areas that we would, I'm just thinking of New Munich, because in Minnesota we had all the dance halls, right? And most of those dance halls were for big band type players that, people would come in and do polkas and, the big waltzes and stuff like that, right? Competitions. Mom and dad were in competitions. Did your mom and dad do anything?
No, they like to swing. My dad taught me how to swing, so I haven't done that in a long time, but I love doing that.
Yeah, that is a fun dance.
It is fun, yeah.
Yeah, so at those dance halls, they would actually have bands come in. And so that was kind of what we did in high school. We would always, I'd work at the Dairy Queen till 11 and then I'd head out, for the last hour and a half to go listen to a band play. And we had really good time.
We went to graveyards.
Oh my gosh, graveyards.
I don't know what we thought we were doing.
Yeah, what did you do in graveyards? Although I did do that too, but not very often.
Scare ourselves.
Yeah, that's why I didn't do it very often.
In your head. I remember a friend and I we would drive in her car and it was really foggy because I was living in the Bay Area and it was really foggy and we'd make up these stories and we'd scare ourselves and get lost.
Oh, geez.
Because we weren't paying attention where we were.
Yeah.
But then we'd go into, I don't know what we thought we were doing going into a graveyard. I think maybe just scaring ourselves.
Yeah. When you get into a funk, because I think we all do, what do you do to get you out of that? I mean, my biggest thing is, okay, you guys all went to the Backstreet Boys, or you and Marie went to the Backstreet Boys with me.
Yes, we did.
But Barry Manilow used to.
I'm sorry. I like Barry Manilow.
Turn his records on, and that would get me completely out of it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Just turn music on and literally dance around my house. I don't care if anybody sees me. What do I care?
Yeah.
You just turn something on that makes you happy. Or I'll turn something on like Project Runway. Although I've seen all of them. Just turn something that's mind numbing, or not mind numbing, it just takes your mind off things. Say yes to the dress, or turn music on, or maybe watch a Keanu Reeves movie. Well, and like talking to friends.
I had Sheri with me a couple weeks ago, and she always she does go for either a run or a walk, or she just gets active. Actually,
exercise is really good too. Because because we all get to those who go, and especially if I'm, after work, if I haven't exercised before that or whatever, it's like, I don't want to do those. Yeah. First of all, last night was a prime example. I was tired. We were in the office all day. I did not want to do it, but I did it, although I didn't want to. But it makes you feel better. Yeah. And it's nothing big that I do. Or I like going for when we go for walks and stuff. Yeah. You just get out there and it helps. Helps with, whenever we go through those periods that are traumatic, or difficult, you just have to keep your mind busy and yourself busy, which you can't do 24/7. Right. And for those down times, that's the hard part. Yeah. And you just. Well, and you've been through a lot, so it's just,
I think that's one of the things that I admire about you is all the things that you have been through that, you just keep pushing forward instead of, there are people that in my life, years back, the older they get, the more they become, what's the word, sedentary?
Mm-hmm.
Where they just don't do anything because they can't do anything. So
what do you mean they can't? Because they don't want to, or they physically can't?
Yeah.
I think when you don't want to, that's when you just, for me, it's just mind numbing. And it's like, after a while, it's like, this is how I want to live the rest of my life? It's just sitting here and not doing anything. I'm not saying you have to go out and do fabulous, world shattering traveling or anything. Just like when we go paint, we have to do that again.
I know, that was fun.
That was fun.
Because you walked in there too, just as you didn't want to have coffee
paint.
But you found
I paint by numbers, so
yes. But the creation that you walked out with was very satisfying.
I think because when you walk in there, because they have this blank, literally a blank canvas, and you're supposed to create what they're creating. Thinking, what in God's green earth?
Yeah, and
it was fun. We had music going, so we were singing. So it just doing it, that was fun.
Yeah.
Did we do the greatest things? I think all of us had turned out fine.
Yeah, I think so.
But I would do that again.
So do you have anything that's on your bucket list that you haven't done yet?
I've always wanted to go to Italy. Rome and stuff would be really cool. The countryside area. I'm afraid I'll never come back, and I can't speak Italian. So.
What is it about that area that?
I don't know. It's just so beautiful. Yeah. It reminds me of the wine country in California. Even more so, though. It's just so, the pictures you see. I've never been to Italy, but whenever you see pictures and stuff, it's so beautiful, so serene. It just looks like it'd be. And you watch those travel shows, it's like, that would be cool to live there.
Yeah.
What I would do for a living, I have no clue, but it was just that I would always like to go there. I thought that would be really cool to do that.
And it's funny because I never really ever wanted to go to Europe until I met my girlfriend Tracy from Australia. And then I'm like, well, people are like her. Maybe I should test out all these different countries and find out what other people are like.
Another thing I always wanted to do is, because there's a lot of parts of this country I've never been to, just take a really long road trip and go to different parts of the country. I've always lived in big cities growing up and stuff. This is probably the smallest place I've ever lived, and it's not so small anymore. But I always liked, when I was driving through California, is the San Joaquin Valley, like the farms and ranches. I always liked that though too, that area. Even though there's, what are you going to do? There's farming and ranching and not much else, but those areas have grown though too. All those small towns.
So remind me, because I don't remember, when we all met up in Minnesota last fall. Is that the first time that you had been there? I couldn't remember.
To Minnesota? Yeah, I'd never been to Minnesota before.
We didn't see much, but because we were in the cities for the most part.
I think I would go. Well, we went to the mall and then to see, Prince. Yeah. But I would go back again just to see more of Minneapolis.
Yeah,
because I don't
downtown and
because we went on that river cruise, and we drove through downtown. Not just to get back to the hotel, and it just looked really. It kind of reminded me of Denver a little bit downtown. Yep. Just to go down there and kind of see what else there is. Yeah. Besides, I don't want to go in wintertime.
Why not?
I don't know. I watched Mary Tyler Moore. I have no idea.
Who was one of your biggest influences or influencers? And do you have a big influencer now? Can you recall?
I don't know. Who influenced me? My
Did
mom was.
Was she a homemaker, or did she actually work outside?
She when we got older, she would work a little bit, but then when my parents divorced, she did work. But as growing up, she I think she was involved in the PTA.
Oh, okay.
You know, because I remember she dressed up at a carnival at school, and she dressed up as Mary Poppins.
What'd you think of that?
It made sense. My mom was Mary Poppins.
Yeah.
But I don't know that any one person specifically I looked up to as, ooh, you're going to influence me.
Mm-hmm.
I was influenced by that.
Where'd you get your discipline then? I mean, because you're very disciplined. You get a task and, you get it done.
I do at work.
Mm-hmm.
At home, not so much.
Oh, I don't know about that. Have you seen my house compared to yours?
I have one person and a cat.
Yeah.
I have a house.
And I have one person.
Kids been living with you for a long time.
Yeah.
But I have this condo that's a lot smaller than your house.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, I need to clean. I noticed, oh, look, it's dusty. I want to do that tomorrow. So, I mean, I used to do all that, when the kids are growing up and stuff. You did the usual on Saturday, take the kids to their football games, clean your house, do your groceries. You didn't do anything for yourself,
Yep.
So now there's just me. I don't care if my house is dirty.
Yeah.
And not that I'm necessarily even going out and doing anything fabulous. I'll find something different to do.
Mm-hmm.
But I think with that, though, it also came with my sisters and I are probably the cleanest people I know. My son is even like that because my mom had 5 kids. And so and we lived in military housing. You had to keep those clean. Only because they were really old. They were like from World War II. And if you did not keep them clean, you had little critters. And I'm sorry, San Diego's got little critters.
Yeah.
So you had to keep it clean. So she always did that. So we're always fastidious like that. We just are.
That's a big word.
I know, it just came in my head. I didn't even think about that either. Surprise! A big word. We're all like that.
Yeah. That's
Probably
cool.
sometimes a little bit too much. So yeah, I mean, it's clean. Like I wouldn't down my bathrooms all the time, but I noticed, oh look, I really do need because you have the blinds open now and the sun comes through. It's like, oh look, there's dust on my table. Yeah.
I'll get to that one.
I will.
What would you say that people would say about you that is the most that they remember you by?
I have no idea. What would you remember me by, Sandy? I don't know.
I think personally, I think like when we go out, just the goofy things that happen. We don't even have to drink, and it's just we laugh about stupid things. And even if we are older now, we still try things.
I don't know. I try to be a good friend. Yeah. Good mom and good sister. I think that's the best that we can do is just try to be the best that we can for those that we love. Yeah. And have no regrets because there's nothing you can do about it. Yeah. And I mean, are there things you would change differently? I think about it and go, well, yeah, I would. But then if you do, would you be the person you are today? Yeah. That's the only thing is if you change one little thing, what's that going to change in your life? Because you don't know. Right. Like I said, moving to San Diego, from the Bay Area, going back to San Diego, I was like, I think about it was probably not the best move. But then again, I wouldn't have one of my best friends and I wouldn't have my son. Yeah. Would I trade that for anything? No, I'd do it all over again. Yeah. So those are the pivotal moments, right? And I think that's, I love to hear people's stories and how their lives have changed. But yet, when you look back at some of the things that, you wish could have been different, that they wouldn't, if they were different, you wouldn't be where you're at now. And you wouldn't learn the things that you've learned through those processes. And you have to go through those processes to learn because you're not going to learn it otherwise and be. Yeah. It's hard not to fall back into the It's not only that, it's hard looking at yourself and going, oh my gosh. Yeah. But we all have good things and bad things. That's who makes us who we are. I give you a terrible time all the time. I do. And you put up with, you laugh. First of all, half the time, what can you do? Half the time I'm joking. Yeah, yeah. But Minnesota. Yeah. But, I just, but you can make fun of me too. It's like, okay, that's fine. Yeah. Yeah, you're from California. I know. I'm one of those people. Yeah. I do appreciate you coming in today. I know that it was
not your favorite thing to do, but I just wanted to highlight you as one of my really good friends. And, this just the history that we've had together, that when you told me that you didn't feel you had anything to talk about, I
but you asked the right
because everybody has a story.
I know, but you don't think you do. I mean, you just think me?
Yeah.
Because, you don't think
I'm
about...
not that important, but you are.
It's not...
You're important to somebody,
I didn't think it was that interesting, not important. Of course I'm important.
Yes, that's more what it is you think everybody has something interesting to talk about.
Yeah, you just don't think you do because you just live your normal life every day.
Yeah.
You don't think it's not that interesting. Our life, everybody has the same day-to-day life. We all do. We all share that. I don't care who you are. I don't care whether you're Keanu Reeves or, Bud down the street.
Yeah.
You basically, maybe in stature, in money-wise or something different, but basically we all we get up every day, do the same thing.
Yeah.
This is more exciting than ours, but that's okay.
Right.
Or we think it is.
Well, we think it is.
That's what we think it is.
Our perception.
Yeah.
So I'm going to wrap this up. But I am grateful again.
Well, you're so welcome.
I just want to thank everybody for watching. I am Sandy Shook. I am a mortgage advisor. I actually am no pressure. Obviously, just even sitting with coffee with me, I'm no pressure person that actually will review anything to figure out whether you can buy a house now, whether you need to refinance, or if you actually can get into an investment property. I'm more than happy to talk with people without calling and texting and bugging you every single day. So reach out to me whenever you get a chance. Sheri, thank you again.
You're so welcome.
And my number is 719-339-9637. Sandy Shook. Thanks.